Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors in Winston, Chester. Glad you're with us on this Monday morning, starting out another week of exciting activities in the Florida Panhandle with our outdoorsmen and outdoors ladies. So we're glad to have you as viewers. We hear a lot back from y'all. I got a tickle when we did it last week. Had the girls on, Ashley and Whitney, when they went to the St. Joe Farmers Market. Those 10 cups went real fast. I appreciate all you folks going by the St. Joe Slow T-shirt booth and speaking to the girls, and a lot of folks there, and we really appreciate it. So we'll keep you posted on what all they'll keep doing with that, with their entrepreneurship. Let's get started with our weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard and hardworking group. We're looking at a high today, 67, low 44. Our water temperature is going down another degree. It's brought to us by Maranta Marketing Company. It's down to 72 degrees, and it's looking good. Our Monday moon phase brought to us by the good folks at Panama City Coca-Cola. Right at half moon, had a good full moon last week. Right at half moon, new moon will be next Wednesday night. It'll be the new dark night on the moon phase. Those little things like that are important outdoors, and that's why I talk about them on a regular basis. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Good strong tide. Look at that chart right there. Low this morning at 11:56. It's coming in right for midnight about 12:53, and a good strong tides today. A lot of movement coming in. A marine forecast coming in west northwest at about 5 to 10. Now I'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. You know, we haven't checked our shark tracker in about a month, so I started looking at it last night, and I said, we're going to share this. So here we are. Only one big shark in the Gulf. I got tickled because this one is sort of unique because I'm gonna touch on it, okay? Nothing around us. We're over here at the mouth of the Mississippi River, because this is Hannah on the far left. So I'm gonna punch on Hannah. Remember, we talked about Hannah. She's only been tagged 204 days and different things and all, but she has really has shown a lot of different things. I'm going to see. I'll see if I can see tagged average. She's just going a half a mile per hour, but if I can find out, here she is right here. I'm going to show you where all she's been tagged. Z-ping, show full track. Okay, I'm going to show full track. Okay, they tagged her over there about 30 miles off Jacksonville, 30 nautical miles, and this is within 200-something days. And she pinged all along the Atlantic coast. Look at her going around all over the place, outside of Fort Pierce and Jupiter. They're bouncing around all over the place. And then what was funny, and I talked about this on the show when he did this, if you'll notice, Melbourne, it's got her coming all the way across, coming through the state of Florida, Wauchula and Bradenton. But that was a satellite ping. Obviously, she came around the Keys, but she didn't come up. And then she came up over here around Sarasota, right there, and came up here, Cedar Key, and then came over here to us at Cape San Blas. Okay, she wasn't that far from us. Went back and forth and everything, and couldn't find enough. I don't know, didn't like it, or we weren't hospitable enough, and she went straight over here. And you think she's hanging around this area? Look how long she's been here. And you probably know why. The mouth of the Mississippi. That's where Captain Virgil Anderson told me he got the biggest shark he ever caught in his lifetime, was in that area right there. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about Shark Tracker, and it's funny. Hannah I sort of am getting attached to Hannah. I sort of like how she moves around. It gets all kind of different places. Okay, and that story on Virgil Anderson talking about that was when he said he called that 20-foot great white shark, was in that area right there, and he explained to me the different things in that area. So I wouldn't do a lot of swimming out there. Okay, so I got all kind of pictures to show. I don't know where to start. Let me see. Okay, let me go up here. Hold on, Jeff. We got. I love technology when it works. Okay. Let me see. Okay, we'll start right here. Let's start with Howard Creek, folks. You just never know if you don't go. Royce bass, folks, I'm going to tell you something. I've gotten some good reports all of last week on folks catching fish, and it's just been it's been a plethora of fish being caught on the river and in the surf right there. Okay, so it's been a lot of fish. But you don't want to tell people where you're fishing, because if you do, this is what happens. And I'll tell you what's going on. This is really true over in Choctawhatchee River on catching mullet out of those mullet holes. They're telling me now they're catching all kind of, but there's 7, 8, 9 boats around the hole. Mitch Coleman put this in last week, but if you're leaving the canal at Mexico Beach, there is shoaling at the mouth of the second sandbar. They haven't been able to really clear it out. So be careful if you're leaving the Mexico Beach boat ramp and going out. Over the years, I've seen this happen back and forth with the shoaling. It just sort of bunches up right there. Thanks, Mitch, for letting everybody know about that. Laura Pierce Hartzog, her daughter, Madison, was house sitting for a neighbor, but she had, is that not a great picture when your house, this is up here in Lynn Haven. Is that not cool? And Madison's not a professional photographer and all, but she just looked at those, look out there, and took some pictures. That is beautiful. That's hard. And she has some video of it too. Okay, here's what I blew it up on this one, a better picture of it. Good job, Madison Hartzog. Okay. Our buddy Laverne Raffield, he has this place up in Georgia, and he loves fishing. He loves fishing in the Gulf and hunting in Georgia. That's been his life passion as far as outdoorsman. But look, this is Kaylee Vanderweg, my biggest buck to date. I still can't stop smiling. And all those people helped her, okay? And there he is right there, okay. What a fine buck. I mean, seriously, is that not a fine buck right there? The Verl, I know, is glad to get off the water. Well, glad to get a different area. That's some of the Mexico Beach, I'm sorry, this is some of the St. Joe Slow people. And I don't have everybody's names, I got to write it down. But a lot of folks came by to see Whitney and Ashley, and y'all come first and third. Okay, St. Mark's. Well, you show pictures from there all the time. But that's a phone camera, that's 2 bobcats. Isn't that cool? And they're looking out both ways. But let's close out on this segment here. I don't know about this. I like this Florida history. You know how much I love Florida history. And I read about this. It's down in West Palm Beach, and there's some big snakes. But they're saying this one, and they're out wild hog hunting in West Palm Beach, and they said this was 11 foot. Now that is 11 foot, and it looks like a rattlesnake. I mean, look at the markings on it. Well, folks, that's incredible. If it's 11 foot, but there's a picture right there. So I'll leave that up to you. That was back before photoshopping was coming in, and A1, we call it A1. We laugh about it being AI and A1 steak sauce. That's a family joke with us. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You know, one of our goals here in Panhandle Outdoors, of course, is getting our young people involved in outdoors in all kinds of different ways. Like last week was cast netting and all kind of stuff and outdoor education. But this is part of a school program, and we're talking about high school clay shooting. Check out this right here. This is actually a website, America's safest high school sport, and we have some local teams here, but this is online. Ooh, already got 55,000 kids doing it, 1,900 schools, high school, college, and homeschool teams, 11,000 coaches and team staff, and 0 injuries. Okay, you don't get hurt. You don't get hurt at the clay shooting team. But anyway, you can join it. Different. You can. Okay, look at all the states that offer it. Okay, so find your league. So I'm gonna tap on Florida. Okay, welcome to Florida State High School Clay Target League. And you can just, okay, same thing, same stats right there. And it just tells you how to do it, our mission, vision, and how to join. It tells you how to join a team. And it's really good stuff. The fall season, we're just sort of wrapping up on the fall season, but they'll start the spring season next, okay? And but let's see, how to join a team. Let's click on that. Okay, so it shows how to join a team and different ways like that. So anyway, the video, but you can go online and find out how to do that. I want to give a heads up and a thanks to a guy named Donnie Chapman. He started the clay shooting team, and at North Bay Haven. He's got one going now at University Academy, which is incredible. But they've taken a whole year to get through the paperwork and process to have a clay shooting team. And I say university, it's FSU, the University Academy. Debbie Shores Whitaker is the principal there at FSU Collegiate School. FSU Collegiate School, and they Dr. Randy Hanna and have all kinds of support for that. And has a good team going there. But he's really got a lot of good stuff going. Okay, let's jump back into some pictures. We know we have one of our locals right here, local picture, Taylor Wheeler Sauls. She and her husband are outstanding fishermen. And this was last week. Remember, it was cool last week, but it caught a wahoo. And fall fishing is hard to beat. And look at that wahoo. And Taylor is just a beautiful young lady that loves the outdoors, outgoing, and just a good ambassador for the outdoors. Good job, Taylor Wheeler Sauls. I'm talking about ladies in outdoors. This is, we've had, let's see. Okay, we've had this lady on the show before. Remember Lisa Fitzgerald with CCA. She went on a Missouri whitetail hunt, and it's been incredible. And now, okay, bow hunting. Look at there. There she is in the blind, and look what happened. Look what happened, folks. Is that not a great shot? She's going from the warm confines of Florida, doing all the fishing and all, and she's up there in Missouri, and she's got a trophy buck. But I got tickled at the cornfield she's in. Does that not tell you something about where you find them a lot in the cornfields? Okay. Bubba Bittinger. Bubba grew up in Southport, went to Mosley, and he lives out in Texas now, but he stays in contact. He took his son. Okay, what a great memory, Bubba. What a great. Oh, there's Bubba. A lot of y'all remember the Bittinger family out of Southport. Look at that kid's eyes on that. He's excited, and I know. He said, look at the camera. Okay, jumping back into fishing, and I talk a lot about Lake Talquin. And this is the morning. This is obviously facing east in Lake Talquin, but that is just one of those lakes that just it's just full. I'm telling you, the wintertime fishing is so good in Lake Talquin. A lot of folks don't know that, but it is. And while I'm talking about fishing reports, I've been talking to some fishermen over the weekend, and then latter part of last week. The fishing is sort of unique right now. It's red hot, okay? And one of the reasons, you stop and think about this low water we've had, okay? Choctawhatchee and Apalachicola, not as much here in Bay County with the effect of the river coming down. Let's talk about Apalachicola. The river's coming down real low, okay? So not a lot of movement as far as getting fresh water in Apalachicola Bay. So what's happening in Apalachicola Bay, the salinity keeps, okay, here's the end, salinity keeps creeping in. We talked about that on the show last week. So a little more salty. So the fish, especially the bass and redfish, is sort of moved up a little bit farther. And all those feeder creeks that I show you all the time, those feeder creeks, those redfish and bass, you can't tell which one you're going to catch, but they've all sort of bunching up in the northern end of the feeder creek. Same way in Choctawhatchee Bay. Now, there's not that much effect here in North Bay and the St. Andrew Bay system because you have the Deer Point drawdown, so they're still flooding. A lot of fresh water is coming in, but that salinity, and you stop and think about it. The guys I talk to, they're fishermen. They're the real deal. I mean, they catch a bunch. I won't give you their names. They wouldn't want me to tell the names, but I talked to them, and they catch a lot of fish. And we were talking about that with two different fishermen. One was they just catch a lot of fish now. Okay, so anyway, Lake Talquin, the crappie fishing in the wintertime, February, crappie fishing in Lake Talquin is off the chart as you're getting ready to plan your winter fishing. Okay? All right, now, one of the former students, I got tickled at this, is Chelsea Saffold. Okay, Chelsea's right here. She caught, this is her first deer, okay? And her husband got her all set up with it, and I got her doe there, but look at those smiles on her face. Here she is right here. She's just tickled. Chelsea was a manager at Chick-fil-A here on 23rd Street for a good while. I don't know if she's still there or not, but loves outdoors. She and her husband Jay fish a lot. All right, what I was just telling you, this is, Chipola has nothing to do with the salt water or anything, but they're just, the river's low and they're bunching up. This is Brendan McCardle on the Chipola River, and I always love looking in the background. when it's low, it's just, this is such a clear, beautiful river to participate with outdoor stuff. Here it is right here. He's actually fishing out of a kayak, and look at that. Nice fish. He caught 14 out of a kayak. Okay, so anyway, I know this time of year everybody's thinking about woods and getting out of the woods and food plots and all that crazy stuff like that I do too. But don't forget, fishing is really good right now. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a quick look at our fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. How about 3:18 to 5:18 this morning, and this evening 3:46 to 5:46. We want to, November 10th, with duck season, the big season right around the corner, open up Thanksgiving and all. So last night I was checking out that I want to look at a duck migration map, and we found it, and it's interesting because there's not a lot of reports. Check this out. This is one on Ducks Unlimited, and these are reports by, we've talked about it before and shown it before. There's nothing. There's no reports between way over here in South Orlando over to New Orleans, nowhere in the southeast. So I'm starting, wait a minute, what's going on? So I decided to go and check this one over here in Louisiana. That's in Chalmette, Louisiana, and I can't blow it up that well. It just says low numbers, okay? But then I said, well, I'm going to go to the Mississippi Flyway. All right, let's go to the Mississippi River and the Flyway and see what's going on up there. So I checked these. This is over here in Indiana. It says low numbers, okay? Then I went over here. This is over in Illinois. First word, low numbers. Migration starting. Okay, let's go over here to lower part of Illinois. Increasing numbers of the migration to get in that area. So anyway, you sort of get the feel of things, but there's no reports. I got tickled. Not tickled. I said, well, I was surprised to see no reports from the whole southeast on the Ducks Unlimited map there on the migration. So anyway, we'll move on, and I want to show. Let's see. We're always talking about different things with tree houses and doing things, making tree houses into blinds. But how about this? A great idea. Turning an old playhouse into a deer blind is a great idea. Who thought about this? Little kids, they outgrow the playhouse, and the only drawback I saw on that was you wouldn't want to stand up, so you want to make the. I'm not going to do something like that, but I thought that was a neat idea. If you got a young person who want to just paint it camouflage, because it'll last a little while. Andrea Wright up here in Vernon. Andrea is a great outdoor girl. Lando killed his first deer with a crossbow at a first fire, and they had the first fire at the house. Okay, so there's that dog. Okay, he caught that with a crossbow. Good job, Lando. And I love this picture here, Andrea. That reminds my Papa and Granny Mills. They had one of these in Hossford, and I wore them many a time as a little kid. And they'd put food on there, and we would throw logs in there all night long. That's how we stayed warm. That was way back. But man, that brought back a lot of memories. Thank you. I'm glad y'all still have this. How cool. Don't that look good? That's the real deal. Okay. Okay, this is a joke. Now, this is not really true. It's sort of, but anyway, when it's your wedding day, but the fish are biting. We can't, my lower right-hand picture, she has her hand on the hip like, okay, I don't know about this. So anyway, I just wanted to give you some humor this morning. Okay. Speaking of humor, this is not humor. It's these guys with a major league fishing, bass fishing, they listened. They failed a polygraph test. Okay, they were suspended. What they were doing, what they did, I read up about it. They actually called each other on the phone. You can't do that. You can't talk to any kind of no phones or anything to share information. So they were sharing information, and I sort of knew better. That's not a major infraction, but it's still the rule. So that's interesting. We talked about a migrant. This was over on 30A at Miramar Beach last week. It was a cool morning, but listen, we're talking about really. Always talking about October, such a great month, but this first week or two of November, really, those fish are coming strong. So good job over there at Miramar Beach. I know those guys enjoyed it. Now, Brandon Tipton, one of my former students, he said, okay, Brandon said, when your daughter asks to go hunting, you take her hunting. It don't matter if it's anything. She's just glad to be in that deer blind. And I got tickled, too, looking back at that insulation, that spray foam insulation. That's a great way. I do that too. Everything I have, I love that spray foam insulation. Okay, a couple more. Harris Scruggs. I have a set of charter headboat permits for lease for the 2026 season. So Harris Scruggs, he's all involved in that. He's an excellent fisherman. So if you're interested in that, if you know someone who is interested in it, this is our buddies with this Facebook page. What you doing, boy? Fishing with. And they caught, this is Saturday morning, trout fishing. And here, look, they showed what they were using. Okay, they kept their limit. But check out, this is this pearl color with a little yellow head like that. This time of year is a really good color. I appreciate y'all showing what you caught them on. I'll have that same color there and jigging for those trout. This time of year, you find them bunched up together, and that's where they're going to be. Real quick, I'll end with this. This is Montevallo Outdoor Scholars Program, and this is University of Montebello Outdoor Scholars Program, blending academics and all. And what they're doing, they're teaching entrepreneurship. We're talking about Auburn having a wildlife entrepreneurship. Now, Montevallo, which is south of Birmingham, great school. They're doing something similar to that, getting kids careers in outdoors and all kinds of different things, but just learning the basic background as far as the finances of it, the actual going online, finding stuff, and then going out in the field and doing it. And I'm going to swing by that one day when we're going up that way, and it'll take some time and go by there and visit them. Maybe we can share information with our local schools. I'd like to see the Mosley Outdoor Ed program with those kids going to places like that if they're interested in making careers out of that. So you see, it's open, and a lot of good things that we didn't have growing up, but probably a good idea. I probably wouldn't have been a teacher, and I love being a teacher. Got to wrap it up. Thank y'all for watching the show. We appreciate the viewership. Y'all do something good for someone else today. Enjoy the outdoors. Let's take care of it, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.